Hey guys, it's Katelyn with Katelyn Inspires Personal Training, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about my story with my eating habits in the past and to the present basically, and what I can do to give you a piece of advice to help you along your journey if you're just now beginning, if you're stuck, if you're confused, if you're depressed, what have you. I want to be able to reach out and inspire you guys to tell you, my story and what I think. And, this is just a personal opinion. I'm not a professional, but I would like to, try my best to help you guys. We all struggle. That's number one. We all struggle with eating and exercise and knowing what to do, and knowing that our goals are out there, but how do we reach them? That's the question. So let me get started with my story. So back in when I was a little girl, I would always find myself wanting food, and I went through a divorce through my parents. They split up when I was just a baby, so I had a lot of stress as a young child. I would go to Dad's house every other weekend, and I would, he would take me out for ice cream and go to Grandma's house, and Grandma would have cookies and baked stuff and pots of spaghetti and things like that. And, that was my experience, going to my dad's house every other weekend. And then, my mom, she would have dinner ready every single night, always a Southern, style meal. And, I was used to these, bad foods. I didn't really know what was healthy for me, being, a child 6 to 10 years old. You don't know what's good for you. So I was, growing up on the Southern foods, and I would stay with my grandma during the summer when school was out, and she would give me, the things that she thought made me happy. Cans of Coca-Cola. She would give me a couple dollars to run down the road on my bicycle and get a candy bar, and they would take me to McDonald's, and it was just these habits was forming, as a child, and I didn't know really what was going on at the time, but as I grew older, those things affected me. And this, may also help you guys who have children of your own. It was the things that I did every day, the habits that formed, coming home from school, opening the fridge, getting the snacks, just because that's what I did every day. Not because I was hungry. I didn't listen to my body. I ate because that's the time to eat. I would get on my bicycle. I would drive down the road to my cousin's house. I would have dinner with his family because it was dinner time. I would play, video games, go outside, go swimming, play in the dirt, typical Southern kid. And then I would go home. Guess what time it is? It's dinner time at my house, so I would eat again. And these habits started forming and led to weight gain as a child. By the 4th grade, I would say I was about 115, between 120 pounds. And that's what I weigh now. So, backtrack a little bit. Growing up throughout school, I switched schools quite a bit, dealing with that kind of stress. I went from, Zenith, Hornersville, to Kennett, to Zenith, to Holcomb, and which I know you guys don't know what that is, but that's the different schools I would go to. And I would switch because I dealt with a lot of stress, and I didn't want to be around these mean kids. I didn't know really where I should have been. So little did I know, if I would have just stayed in one spot, I probably would have ended up better. But getting picked on a lot in school because I was overweight led me to eat more because I was stressed out all the time, and I didn't know how else to cope being that young. I just knew that naturally I would eat. 1, it was a habit. 2, it was a stress reliever at this point. So, fast forward a little bit to high school. I started working about 16 years old at a fast food restaurant. That was all that was available for work in my area. So I began working at Wendy's, and I would eat, sneak a fry here and there. On break time, I'm like, okay, it's dinner time. I was still accustomed to that time as a child to eat dinner. And with a break at work, you only get that certain amount of time to eat, and then you're working for the next few hours. You don't get to sit down and eat it again or, go back for seconds. So I automatically would fill my plate over or order over the amount of food that I needed, because I was like, well, normally I would go back for seconds, but I'm just going to order more because that's what I'm used to eating, is this much food. So I look down at my plate and I see 4 burgers, of course, dollar menu, 4 burgers, 2 fries, value fries, ice cream, and a drink. And this habit happened every single day. It was a binge eat every single day that led to weight gain. By the time I graduated, by doing this at all these fast food restaurants that I would work at, by the time I graduated, I was 210 pounds. And with me being that short, I was massive, you guys. I was huge. Diabetes runs in my family. I was not set up for, anything good. So anyways, I got married my senior year after I met Chad at Wendy's, and we moved. I'm not going to tell you where, but we moved according to his job. And when we started moving, I was like, okay, I'm going to start dieting. I want to lose weight. I'm tired of being fat. I'm an adult now. I'm out of high school. I want to lose weight and prove all these people wrong, and much more. Just do this for myself. So anyways, I started losing weight, and I bought those foods that I thought were healthy for me. Let's say like Lean Cuisine, Weight Watchers products, Atkins bars, fruit bowls, canned soup, you name it, that kind of stuff that wasn't good for me but I thought was good for me, I would eat. And just because I thought that it was a healthy product, I thought there was no limit. There was no limit to how much of this healthy food I could eat. If it was healthy, I wasn't going to gain weight, right? So I became a cardio bunny when I got introduced to the gym, and I would stay on the elliptical for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I didn't do weight training. I didn't know, what the weights for. I thought they were just for the guys. And so I would eat all these foods, and then I would go to the gym, and it just became to be, like with all the exercise and all this food, it became to maintain my weight. And I would never see progress. And that right there is what I want to talk to you guys about today, is the progress thing. When you start seeing progress, look for things other than the scale. Look for inches lost. Look for how you feel. Do you feel happier because you're exercising? Do you feel like your mood has improved? Because these things is results of exercise, clean eating, and so on. But let's get back to the diet. So anyways, I was eating these unhealthy foods, and I had in my mind that I was burning all these calories so I could overeat on these foods because I had it burned off. So I would overeat on these foods, and this became to spiral out of control. Like, I became a binge eater, and I would find myself just overeating. And then I heard of, the famous cheat meal. So when I got that cheat meal, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to have a cheat meal again because I'm going to start dieting for another couple months. So I would overeat on the cheat meal. You're talking a large pizza, a pint of ice cream, 12 donuts, whatever I could do till I was just sitting there sick. And I had in my mind, I can't have these foods later. What am I going to do? I have to eat all this food. So it became, an eating disorder at the time, and I was out of control. And so what I needed to do was find out more about clean eating. I needed to know what things were actually good for my body, how to fuel my body, how to count calories, carbs, fat grams, protein, sodium, fiber, everything. I needed to know more. I needed to know how to get this weight off of me once and for all, what program I needed to follow. I needed to do it now. I needed to do this stuff, get it over with, and and lose that weight. And I wanted to do it overnight. I thought, you know, I can lose 30 pounds in a month. I can get a pound off a day. So what did Katelyn do? She looks up weight training. She looks up cardio exercises to do as far as floor exercises. I started running. I started walking the track. I started developing a better fitness habit as far as adding variety to my program. But the food I would undereat. I mean, it is a never-ending cycle. I was overeating, and then I began to undereat because I thought that because there was so much volume in vegetables and, you know, healthy proteins, that because there was so much food there, it contained a lot of calories, but it was healthier for me. But it wasn't. You know, vegetables, they're not negative calorie by no means, but they'll get burned off as soon as you eat them, basically, depending upon the vegetable, like lettuce or celery or whatever. So I would eat these foods, and then it ended up I was like 700 calories a day. I began to faint. I began to get this condition called vertigo, where everything would be dizzy, the room would spin. And about that time, I had hired a personal trainer where we were staying at, and I kept telling him, I was like, you know, I feel dizzy. I feel like the room is spinning. I need to sit down. Well, about that time, you know, I would call my parents or I'd call my grandmother, and I'd be like, I don't feel good. You know, the room is spinning. They'd be like, you need to quit weight training. It's your weight training. It's your diet. Quit. So I gave up. And it wasn't that, you know, I wanted to give up on my program, because I kind of thought I was doing good at the time, but it was the matter of being torn in between feelings, to where, you know, someone would tell me to do this, and I never thought about the one thing that really mattered, and that one thing was my opinion. It was what was good for me, and not good, you know, it wasn't needing to be about what everyone else thought about me, or what everyone else thought I needed to be doing. I needed to be doing what I know that I need to do. I didn't need to be doing, you know, what my trainer says, or what my grandma thinks, or what my mom thinks, or, you know, what my cousin did last week. I needed to do what was good for me and what I thought would work for my body. I never thought intuitively. That is the word, intuitively. I never listened to my body. So that leads me to today. I'm going to tell you guys my piece of advice. No matter what the goal is, me personally, my goal is to get shredded. You know, I'm a trainer. I want to have that awesome physique where everyone points out, that girl, I want her to train me. I'm inspired by her. But I understand that's not going to happen overnight. The results that I've gotten today, my 90-pound weight loss, has not happened overnight. This weight loss has taken me going on 4 years. And it's a building block. It's a building foundation. You gain the muscle to replace the fat. The scale doesn't matter. If I could take all the scales in the world and just break them, I would. Because nobody needs to rely on a number to make them happy. They need to rely on how they feel, how they look in the mirror, how, you know, their health is improving. They want to look at the cholesterol going down, getting rid of the diabetes medications, heart rates leveling out to normal ranges. That kind of thing is the things that need to make you happy instead of the number on the scale. You are more than that. So, anyways, if you're looking at your journal, let's say you track your food on MyFitnessPal, you write it down every day, whatever, however you track your food, look at it and be like, okay, I need this food to be balanced. Rule number 1, never eliminate a food group, okay? Never eliminate a food group. So you hear about low carb diets, you hear about low fat diets, high protein diets, only fruit diets, only vegetable diets, only meat diets. Don't. A healthy diet is a balanced diet, a balanced lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. So let's just get that word out of the way. So it's going to be a healthy lifestyle. So when you're looking at a healthy lifestyle, of course your exercise, your overall happiness, but as far as food goes, you're looking at balanced calories as far as your BMR. Take 20% of that to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. If that's your goal is weight loss, 20%, that's it. So I'm not going to tell you my specific numbers because a lot of people think it's low because, you know, I'm short, but whatever. Anyway, so you take your calories, balance that out. Make sure you have enough carbs to function at the, you know, balanced rate, protein to function, fat to function. Don't eliminate a specific food group. Make sure it's balanced. As far as cheat meals go, don't call it a cheat meal. Call it, I want this cookie. I mean, really, it's not anything that you need to program into your mind to think that you can have something once and that's it. You need to think of it as a lifestyle, as far as I can have this whenever I want it, but I'm going to try to do good today. But if I absolutely want that cookie and I can't resist it, just eat it. You know, it's not about eliminating anything out of your life. Do not deprive yourself or restrict, because these restricting and these deprivation programs is what's going to, you know, form the eating disorders and the bad habits and the messed up minds out there today. But anyways, never eliminate a food group. That's a lesson that I've learned personally. Never eliminate a food group. Never do, same applies to exercise. Never do one thing for exercise every day. Like, never just get on the elliptical. Like, you want to go out there and you need to challenge your body to find out all these new ways to improve. So let's say if the elliptical is something you do every day, you get on the elliptical for an hour, maybe you should change the resistance up on the machine, the elliptical. And let's say if you're on a resistance of 15, do 15 for 5 minutes, change it up to 30 for a minute, go back to 15 for 2 minutes, then do 50 for 30 seconds. Repeat. Like, change up the pace of things, keep your body guessing, but never do the same thing for too long. Never restrict yourself for too long. Never form these habits, these bad habits, for too long. Always keep yourself happy and interested in your program. That way you don't fall off the wagon. You don't lead into an eating disorder. You don't go into yo-yo dieting, restriction, binging. Much less don't go into freaking anorexia or bulimia, or, you know, hurting yourself because you're not getting your results. So, I know this is all over the place. I had it on my mind, and I didn't want to see my clients or see people fail because of these reasons. They're doing the same thing. They're not, you know, they're restricting themselves too much, or they're overeating, or, you know, whatever. There's so much out there, you guys, so much controversy and so much factors that lead to these problems, and there's so much out there that we're forced to believe, and we never know the right answers. The only right answer is making yourself happy, and if your goal is to get healthy, do it slowly in the right way. Don't go on any crazy fad diet, no juice fast for 30 to 60 days. I mean, don't do any of these crazy things that's going to lead, you know, your mentality to go all over the place. You want to have a healthy mind and a healthy body. So in order to have a healthy body, you need to have a healthy mind, and that's just it, guys. You got to protect your mind. You can't let these things take over your life. Like, for me personally, I want to go back to school. I want to, you know, become a nutritionist along with my personal training degree. I want to, you know, be in college for kinesiology and exercise science and biomechanics, and, you know, all these things that contribute to personal training, other than just, you know, the exercise portion or the diet portion. Like, I want to know all these variables and all these factors, and that's why I'm taking my time. I'm not doing this overnight. I'm not going to go to school and get all this done in a year. I'm going to sit at home, and I'm going to, you know, if I don't feel like studying that day, I'm not going to. But if I do feel like studying, I'm not going to bombard myself and study for 6 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours a day. Like, it's not realistic. It's going to overwhelm my mind. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to set them out. So let's say I pick out 30 flashcards. I'll learn 30 flashcards on the days that I want to study. I'm not going to bombard myself with all this crazy crap. As far as diet goes, I have made a deficit to where I can lose weight slowly in the right way, but I'm not going to eliminate food groups anymore, you guys. It's messed up my mind, and I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want to see you guys fail because there's so many beliefs out there to low carb diets, low fat diets, high fat diets, restricting protein diets, you know, what have you. There's so much out there to believe. And I mean, excuse me, if you have a medical condition and you're forced to eliminate one of these, that's a different story. But it's about balance, you guys, really. It's about balance and being consistent. And if you can, you know, balance your life to be where I'm going to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, I'm going to eat healthy, but I'm going to have this meal if I want it. I'm going to, you know, run every night because I want to become a better runner. But if you don't feel like running and you need to walk for a couple minutes, go ahead, walk. You know, these things are not going to kill you. Don't mess with your mind just to get to a certain goal. I mean, goals take time. Anything worth having doesn't happen overnight. Remember that. So, anyways, thank you for watching Katelyn Aspires Personal Training, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Have a great day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay humble, reach your goals at realistic times. So, alright, thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.